2 months ago, Dr. Disrespect was eating a cupcake.
I'm gonna eat my cupcake and I'm gonna celebrate. Nothing you're gonna do about it.
I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake
When he was exposed by an ex-Twitch employee for messaging a minor and allegedly trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. Doc responded by admitting he inappropriately messaged a minor and then he fled on vacation for 2 months.
I'm actually tired of being on social media.
Upon his return, he would say that he purposely made himself look like a pedo to bait journalists. He's been playing chess this whole time.
You also said the word minor, Cody. I even made sure that word was emphasized in my statement, edited, etc., just to make sure these so-called journalists would pick up on it. And boy, oh boy, did they ever, champs.
The logic makes no sense. It's comical. At one point, he starts to compare him messaging a minor to a guy saying the N-word.
Take a look at some of these horrendous acts of Twitch streamers that were never banned. I've got some examples right here. A streamer that frequently used the N-word while publicly streaming.
And for the second time this year, the most incriminating part of the Dr. Disrespect allegations is coming from Dr. Disrespect himself, acknowledging that he did message a minor.
I'm not denying the exchange of whispers, champs.
It was inappropriate, but she was above the age of consent in her state, so it's fine.
Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitting that they never investigated the age of consent in the jurisdiction where the user's messages were sent and received.
Despite all of this, Dr. Disrespect came back to a loving audience that ate up his story. Over 200,000 live viewers.
I love the Champions Club. That's one thing that just stands out. We're actually real people here.
And it's because of the horrendous way Twitch and gaming journalists have handled this entire situation. This is a story filled with lies, backstabs, and demeaning people for asking the right questions.
People want to show the message, release the messages, show the messages. What are we in second grade?
But ultimately, it does provide us with enough information to finally have the full story when it comes to Dr. Disrespect's Twitch ban. It's disturbing, it's gross, like the crust and dust in your ancient computer that blue screens all the time. You don't have to live like this anymore. META PCs is the gold standard for pre-built gaming computers, putting together some of the cleanest builds out there. And my favorite part about META is how you can tailor the build to your liking, picking out the exact graphics card and CPU without having to waste time searching for a good deal online. And the customization is amazing. This is the PC I received from META a year ago, and hot damn is it sexy. The thing's quality, and I've been so happy I bought my laptop from them using my own dime. And you could customize everything, custom printed graphics card, cases, backplates, so it's the way you want inside and out. It's beautiful, and it runs Premiere and After Effects better than any Apple laptop I've owned. It's a beast. But if you don't have time to wait, META has a wide array of ready-to-ship PCs that leave the next business day after they're ordered. Everything is clean, organized, and ready to go right out of the box. All I had to do was plug in the graphics card, which META has a step-by-step YouTube video on, and even a manual to help me out. Look, if you're going to be spending PC money, make sure it's done by people who take pride in their work. They have financing for everyone, whether you have great credit or no credit at all. So use code Willy with your link in the description to get a special discount when you order your META PC. Thank you, META PCs, for sponsoring this video. I find it hilarious that Doc is trying to frame himself as a super genius at the moment when his entire downfall is due to his own actions. When the Dr. Disrespect allegations first aired, most reasonable people were willing to wait for Doc's response before forming an opinion. At this time, former Twitch staff was giving testimonies and it seemed like the messages were going to leak, so Dr. Disrespect gave a statement coming clean. I'd like to make a quick statement, let's cut the effing bullshit. Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind those messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned a bit too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. So when Doc was 35 years old and actively cheating on his wife, he admits to inappropriately messaging a minor. Yeah, you just gotta read in between the lines a little bit there to see what's happening. His own friends abandoned him.
He was messaging a minor and it would sometimes lead to teeter on inappropriate if he knew that was a minor and those were the messages being sent. I cannot support that.
He was texting an underage girl and it went weird sometimes, you know, and look, Just to be blunt and straightforward, man. That's inexcusable. It's unacceptable, right?
That should be a wrap. The problem is, the messages never leaked. The people who saw the messages spoke anonymously about it, saying the girl made aware that they were underage during the conversation, after which Doc reiterated that it was no problem and continued on. There was no confusion. Messages sent out here were no less graphic or sexually explicit in nature than before, saying it was more than the word inappropriate might indicate. And although it provides some insight, it's anonymous. No public-facing person has seen the messages. Not Cody, not the journalist who spearheaded the story. Its credibility can only go so far. In fact, Slasher, the main journalist behind this story, would go on his San's stream and spew out unverified information that would be proven wrong less than 2 hours later.
I did get a DM about an hour ago from someone who lives in Encientas, near Rancho Santa Fe. That is the area that Dr. Disrespect lives in.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent me a screenshot from his next door, which is in that area. And there is a comment that says, "We just saw Dr. Disrespect in handcuffs." He lives right there. Assuming it has something to do with the accusation.
This allegation would be revealed as completely fabricated. This guy calls himself a journalist. He's the best thing to ever happen to Doc. So the stage was set for Dr. Disrespect's comeback. All he had to do was recontextualize his statement and call the Twitch staff liars. But what I didn't expect was him to incriminate himself even more. Him teasing his return was insane. First, he posted a picture of him playing chess. "Doc, is you getting canceled for being a pedo a game to you? Is this all part of your plan, huh?" People responded by showing that Doc was playing a kid. Doc would continue to tease that this was all part of his master plan. He wanted people to think he was a pedophile. He would change his Twitter wallpaper to a bobber, with his tweet admitting to the allegations being the bait. It was at this point I realized that Dr. Disrespect eats crayons, and he's hoping that we all eat crayons too. This master plan of his makes no sense. He thinks we're all stupid. The day before his stream, he posted a hype video of him driving a boat, teasing that he's coming back to streaming. People would joke that he's returning from Epstein's Island. Doc did not like that. His return stream was huge. When I was watching, it peaked at over 220,000 live viewers. The VOD is sitting at over 3 million. Everyone is dying to know, what is Doc's defense? It's him playing word games, defending himself from allegations that were never made. He addresses the allegations as if they're a joke.
Elephant in the room, Doc. We're waiting.
Oh my god. Oh god. It's the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst of the thing I've ever.
Just relax, man.
He spends most of the time being mad at Cody for leaking why he was banned.
Cody, why do this? What was the point? And you, knowing how black and white the internet is, you decided, you fucking rat, to leak the reported reason Twitch banned me in 2020. I mean, for what?
The problem isn't that Cody leaked it. The problem is that Dr. Disrespect let people find out this way. Bro, you had 4 years to tell people, and instead you let them believe in all of these false conspiracies. You were being sneaky about it. He threatens to sue Cody.
Did you not know the repercussions from spewing lies about the 2-time? Did you not know the repercussions of accusing me, Cody Connors?
Cody never signed anything. It was simply relaying why Doc was banned from Twitch. Cody didn't lie anywhere. This is exactly why Doc was banned. Doc would never win a defamation case with this. Doc's main defense is to play semantics. When Doc gets accused of sexting a minor, he doesn't deny it. Instead, he redefines the word.
You didn't have any firsthand knowledge of my dispute with Twitch. You said that I got banned from Twitch because I was sexting a minor through Whisper's messages? Do you even know what the legal definition of sexting is?
Doc's not denying sexually messaging a minor here. Instead, he redefines it to be about the legal definition of sexting, which is exchanging images or video. Out of the 3 allegations to come out against Dr. Disrespect, none of them accused him of sending or receiving pictures. Twitch Whispers don't even allow that. If he did that, he'd be in jail. Doc pretty much entirely sticks to a legal argument because that's all he's got. Hey guys, I may have flirted with a minor, but at least she didn't send me CP. What a defense.
You also said the word minor, Cody. I even made sure that word was emphasized in my statement, edited, etc., just to make sure these so-called journalists would pick up on it. And boy, oh boy, did they ever, champs.
He is unironically going with the narrative that he purposely made himself look like a pedo. Am I supposed to believe that? He lost his gaming company, his bourbon company, was dropped from the 49ers, and was kicked out of the YouTube partner program. But hey, Doc, at least you got the journalist as well as most of the online world to think that you sexually messaged teenagers. You really did win.
You also tried to tell the world that I was trying to meet up with this user at TwitchCon, but you're wrong. Let's set the record straight. I never intended to meet this user ever. We never made plans to meet at TwitchCon or anywhere else, and in fact, we never met in person ever.
This is the first and only time Doc ever outright denies an allegation. The anonymous Twitch employee alleged that they talked about meeting up at TwitchCon. Now, Doc has relied on a lot of technicalities for his defense, but he hasn't outright lied. In fact, he's actually been pretty truthful if you really pay attention. So he could be telling the truth here. We'd have to see the messages to come to a more accurate conclusion.
They conveniently left out is 1. Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally admitted that the whisper messages were not sexting.
Again, this is Doc relying on legal technicalities to defend his actions. Nobody ever alleged that Doc did anything illegal. You don't have to do something illegal to get banned from a social media website, and you don't have to do something illegal for it to still be wrong.
Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally acknowledged that the whispers did not constitute child sexual abuse material CSAM. I'll say it again. Neither I nor the Twitch user exchanged any sexual graphic messages or images.
Wow, the bar is so low.
Cody Connors and these other anonymous sources are trying to paint a picture that I was exchanging sexually explicit messages and photos with this Twitch user. That never happened.
He's doing it again. Nobody ever alleged that he exchanged photos. You can't exchange photos over Twitch whispers. Nobody thought that. This is when Doc's dishonesty becomes clear. He's going to misrepresent allegations and call them lies, when in reality, they line up pretty accurately to his own story.
I even used the word inappropriate, purposely. And look at how it's defined by everyone, champs. Huh? Including these defaming articles. I'm sorry, but mutual bantering with inappropriate jokes taken out of context should have never led to me getting banned from Twitch in the first place.
Doc is straight up rewriting history. He's already described the messages himself as a moral wrong. In his initial statement, Doc says, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father. It should have never happened. I get it. That's it. That's why Twitch made the decision to ban me in 2020. So is Twitch really in the wrong when Doc himself describes the situation as a moral wrong that Doc as the adult should have had better judgment on? No, of course not. You should get banned for this. Doc is backpedaling this statement because it makes his audience feel better about watching him.
How would each of you look if all of your private DMs, your text messages, your chats were looked at, dissected, and taken out of context by someone who's deliberately trying to find something inappropriate in those words?
I also have inappropriate messages on my phone, but none of them are to minors. I feel like we keep forgetting that key component here. Doc then tries to spin a narrative that his ex-partner manager was out to get him, and that's why he was banned.
We got zero support from this guy. And it was just so obvious that he carried a grudge against the two-time. So after we signed with Twitch in 2019, we asked for a new partner manager. And just a few months later, that ex-Twitch partner manager is directly involved with getting me banned. Coincidence? The Twitch user tells this ex-Twitch partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch. But this ex-Twitch partner manager encourages the user and even directs them to file a report directly with Twitch, even though the user told him clearly that we never physically met anywhere and that no photographs were exchanged.
Unless you think it's okay to sexually message someone who's under 18 years old, I don't see the relevance of this story. If you just don't send the messages, you don't get banned. Why is that so much to ask for?
LER analyst cherry picks and sends a few targeted excerpts out of context from the whisper messages to this director. Now, if you do this, you can make anyone's messages look inappropriate, even when they aren't.
But you called them inappropriate, something that should have never happened, that you need to take more responsibility for. So which is it?
The NCMEC, Twitch submits that report. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Guess what? As far as I know, and over 4 years have passed, they didn't do anything with the report. As far as I know, they didn't escalate Twitch's report to law enforcement.
He acts like this is some big revelation. Twitch has to do this according to federal law. If Twitch finds inappropriate messages involving a minor, they are legally obligated to escalate it to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. If the messages aren't illegal, meaning no images or videos were sent, then nothing happens. It's a standard operation. Yet he keeps bringing up the legality as if the only thing people care about is whether it's legal or not.
The same people that made this decision at Twitch admit internally that the messages did not warrant any child sexual abuse material charge. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitted they did not perform any legal analysis of whether the messages exchanged were illegal in any way. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitting that they never investigated the age of consent in the jurisdiction where the user's messages were sent and received.
He thought this made him sound good. Again, this is an admission of guilt. He's acknowledging that she was a minor. Also, if these messages weren't sexual, then why would the age of consent in her state matter? Doc seems to spend a lot of time on that.
So then why did Twitch use these messages against me?
Because you sexually messaged a minor, and that's a terrible look for a billion-dollar company.
Why did Twitch treat the doc so differently from their other streamers?
They didn't. In 2020, Twitch started an initiative where viewers could report allegations about streamers, saying we take accusations of sexual harassment and misconduct extremely seriously. We are actively looking into accounts concerning streamers affiliated with Twitch and will work with law enforcement where applicable. During this time, over 70 allegations surfaced, leading to dozens of Twitch bans, like Zero, Nairo, Method Josh, and Shinshin. Doc is one of many streamers that got caught. He wasn't some special target by his manager. None of these other people were ever charged, and they all talk just like Doc.
Now, I need to make this very clear to everybody watching this video. I have never received explicit images from any underage individual. I have never sent explicit images to any underage individual. I have never made travel arrangements with ulterior motives with any underage individual.
But he did message a minor inappropriately.
Katie sarcastically asks him if he wants a girl that bad, to which he responds that he wants her. She questions him, but he tells her not to worry and fulfill his request.
Since they weren't arrested because text messages aren't illegal, they claim that they didn't do anything wrong. This is always the defense.
And trust me, we've worked hard for over a decade to improve as a person, a husband, and father, and to get where we're at today. I mean, I'm in such a good place today. And all these people, they all act like they're just so perfect. I'm not perfect.
Apparently asking a streamer to not message a minor, it's too much. It's demanding they be perfect. Doc would then compare what he did to someone who said the N-word.
They wanted to cut down the Doc. Plain and simple. Take a look at some of these horrendous acts of Twitch streamers that were never banned. I've got some examples right here. A streamer that frequently used the N-word while publicly streaming, which constitutes a violation of Twitch's policies if accompanied by hateful intent. Twitch scheduled a meeting with the streamer to ascertain his intent to determine whether his conduct was a violation of Twitch's policies, ultimately determining it was not a breach of Twitch's policies.
Hey, Doc may be a pedophile, but at least he's not a racist.
Example number 2. Streamer was reported for discussing doing things with deceased animals and discussing pedophilia, all while live streaming. Never suspended, but instead given a multi-million-dollar contract.
The obfuscation is crazy. Doc, if you joked about messaging a minor, that would be fine. The problem is you actually did it.
Streamer was reported for a sexually explicit stream involving children and telling children to send Snapchats of them playing with themselves. Never suspended, but instead, given a multi-million-dollar contract.
That person belongs in jail then, but who are you talking about? Doc never names them because odds are his retelling of the story is inaccurate. Doc then cries about having to lay people off.
We just lost... fuck, man. Unfortunately, we have to lay off people from Midnight Society.
Again, it's all your fault. Am I supposed to feel bad?
And I'm not denying the exchange of whispers, champs. I'm not denying that to all of you out there. It looks bad. I have no way of knowing if the Twitch user thought our exchange of whispers was inappropriate. If it was, I apologize. That's it. I'm not saying anything more about any of this.
What about showing the messages?
People want...
Show the message. Release the messages. Show the messages.
What are we in second grade?
I don't get it. It would be the quickest way for him to exonerate himself. He makes it seem like the courts gave him access to the messages.
Let me just remind you, I went through a multi-year, a big-time arbitration, okay? And, you discover a lot of stuff.
At this point, whatever NDA was in place has surely been broken, so show the messages, or at least describe them in detail. Show how they were taken out of context. He doesn't because odds are the messages are pretty bad. So what really is the truth behind Dr. Disrespect's ban? Well, with Doc's new testimony, we could actually paint a full picture. In 2017, while Doc was cheating on his wife, he messaged a 16 or 17-year-old in Twitch whispers. They may or may not have talked about meeting up, but everyone agrees that the messages were inappropriate and morally wrong to have with someone who was under 18.
I'm not denying the exchange of whispers, champs.
3 years later, in 2020, Twitch would launch an initiative where viewers could report allegations against streamers. Now, whether Doc's ex-partner manager encouraged the minor to file the report or not doesn't matter, because the messages exist, so Doc was banned and his contract was terminated. Contracts with talent tend to have a vague morality clause where if the talent does something deemed immoral, the company can terminate them. Doc sees this and he goes, oh shit, I'm about to be labeled a pedo, so he sues them.
There's a reason why we're suing the out of him.
He sues Twitch and Doc takes the stance that he didn't do anything immoral because it wasn't illegal.
Allegations that Twitch made without even a legal analysis of whether the whisper messages were illegal!
So now it's being argued between lawyers if Doc messaging a minor is immoral if the age of consent in her state is 16. If it's not illegal, how can it be a moral wrong?
That the messages did not warrant any child sexual abuse material charge. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitted they did not perform any legal analysis of whether the messages exchanged were illegal in any way.
Twitch may have realized that this is uncharted waters and a potential PR nightmare, especially if they lose, so they pay him out. And they come to an agreement. No party admits to any wrongdoing. So finally, after all these years, that's more or less the full picture. And if you see any Dr. Disrespect fans that disagree with this analysis, link them to this timestamp. I am only citing Dr. Disrespect for these receipts. This is his story. So is he guilty? Yes. Is the reality probably worse than his retelling? Yes.
Fuck you and everyone who looks like you.
Doc's return stream surpassed over 3 million views, and this narrative that he purposely made himself look like a pedo as bait worked for him. His viewers have to be children. Someone explain to me how that makes any sense. They were all over Nick Merck's channel calling him a backstabber. Nick isn't smart enough to understand any of this.
Actual bantering with inappropriate jokes taken out of context should have never led to me getting banned from Twitch in the first place.
If this is true, if what he's saying is true right now, why does he not show everybody the whispers? I mean, it would be instant. Instant. Why can't we see the whispers? Because now he's saying that they're jokes. I mean, I make jokes all the time. And if I made a joke and people were saying that it wasn't, I would show everyone it's a joke. Confusing, man.
Pretty rational take. He's not showing the whispers yet because he's probably in the process of suing the out of them. Doc is not suing anyone, and Doc is never going to show anyone the messages. If they exonerated him, he would have shown them by now.
Vibe that I'm getting from Doc is that original tweet he had put out, he's backtracking.
Yes.
And in that tweet, he had admitted to sending inappropriate texts or whatever to a minor. Those were his words. Not mine, not Tim's, not whoever. Now, he later deleted this tweet. Personally, I don't think it changes much. I know his premise and what he's dying on is that what he did was not illegal. And look, I get that. But at the end of the day, you messaged a minor and it was inappropriate. For me, this is not about legality.
This is not something that takes a high IQ to understand. Unless you think Doc should be able to sexually message 16-year-olds, he's in the wrong. This is not a backstab. Nick would respond to the hate tweeting, "This retard Dr. Disrespect is married with children, pushing 40 and admits to sexting a minor inappropriately. His words, not mine. So I cut ties because obviously that's inexcusable. Now I'm a shit friend for not having his back? Bunch of brain rot morons on this app." A Doc fan replies, "A real friend would have called him and talked to him, man to man." Nick says, "I've said multiple times he sent a text to the boys and I apologizing for us being dragged into it. Regardless, it doesn't matter." Ninja, Tim's, Laner, they've all remained silent because once you take out the semantics, all Doc's response does is confirm the allegations. Even Myron, who defends Andrew Tate, has trouble defending Doc.
Like, yeah, this is fucked up. But I would say give him a little bit like text him on the side like, "Bro, let me see the messages."
Jeremy has been trying his best to defend Doc. He's basically had to make up parts of the video that don't exist.
The same employees also internally acknowledged that the messages were not sexual in nature. Okay?
Dr. Disrespect never even made that claim. I'm convinced that Jeremy never actually watched Doc's video. He read this guy's tweet and then decided to upload his opinion. Classic Jeremy.
A toast to the bad guy. With bad bitches, then bad times will pass by.
In conclusion, Doc returning to a successful stream was always going to be the outcome. If Cody doesn't have the messages, and the journalist doesn't have the messages, and the journalist's anonymous source isn't even willing to state their name, well then that leaves the door open for Doc to backpedal his statement and rewrite the narrative. The only reason he admitted to anything is because he thought the messages were going to come out. I called this over 2 months ago. Everyone agrees on one thing though, if the DMs don't leak, Doc is going to be able to set the narrative for his comeback.
Is there some bizarro world that he gets more popular?
I don't know.
Yes, it's happened, all because these journalists couldn't lock down a shred of evidence. He streamed to 80k people yesterday. I am convinced Doc is guilty because his own retelling of the story is him being guilty. If you still want to watch him, that's fine. If you still like him, that's cool. But let's not defend what he did.
I think that Doc is existing inside of the scope of ambiguity, and he's not using specifics because he's relying on people's trust in him and charisma for people to assume that he did the right thing and he didn't do something wrong.
That'll be it for today. Subscribe to the channel and be sure to check out META PCs. And shout out to the homies over on Patreon: Phoebes, Crimson Glass, Riveter, Christina Vina, Mac Monkey, Drain Kobex, Necro Valley, Stefan Bildman, Abby Blackbird, The Confusing Opinion, Eddie Bizzle, Tiz McFitz, Christopher H, TV Anthology Reviews, Hinklemore, Sennial Music, Lucas If, ET Automatic, Snoopy Poop Doop 2, Amir ML Bay, Deep Pocket Jew, Rooney Boo Boo, and the mega homies: Reynolds Hughes, Hellison, IGP, Your Taxi, Latchkey Goth Boy, Cyber Katie, Lore Reloaded, Papa Gut, Caden Lulin, BA Subway, Hawk and Load, Derek Duke, Kitty Cat, Terox, Faye Under, John Manfreda, Frick, Lucas, Doggerino Cripperino, Katie Huck, Leviathan, and Panic Pun.